What is going on, guys? This is Romano. Gamers Goon here today with, obviously, the Chicago Bears reaction video. Now, as you can see behind me, new setup. Got my own apartment, living with some other few people, so I'm not going to be too loud. But this right here, all of this is the reason why the past few days, about week so, I haven't been making these videos. Clearly because I've been getting arranged here and getting stuff moved in and fixing everything that needs to be fixed. As soon as I came in here, there was a water leak, so I had to get that addressed. And then obviously setting up my room, setting up the food situation and everything and whatnot. But today we are finally getting to what we need to get to. We have the Chicago Bears reaction video. I did get a chance to watch the game. I did watch it live. There was positives, there was negatives. It's a Bears football game. What did I honestly expect? The Bears went out there and they did their thing. Don't get me wrong. They went out there and they did their thing. They came out there and they played okay football. Andy Dalton did get hurt twice. He got hurt. He was actually looking solid. He had a couple run plays, and one of the run plays he came up a little bit slow. And then next we saw Justin Fields for 2 plays, 3rd down and then 4th and 1. And they turned the ball over, whatever. And then because at that point everybody's like, well, it's Justin Fields' team now. I sat there and was like, Andy Dalton just lost his job. He just lost his job. And the next drive, Andy Dalton's back. And he gets sacked. And then he does one more play, and then they pull him again. And Andy Dalton's done for the day. Justin Fields has full reign. Now, Justin Fields did struggle. He had a fumble, which should have been, honestly, a touchdown. They picked it up, but Justin Fields swatted it back down and ended up recovering his own fumble. And Justin Fields had an interception that was not so ideal, very similar to the interception that Roquan Smith had, where the linebacker baited the QB into throwing the ball. Speaking about Roquan Smith got his first touchdown as a Chicago Bear and his first touchdown in his professional career. Shout out to Roquan Smith. Not a top 100 player in the league is what they said. I don't know who said it because they're morons. Whoever made the NFL Top 100, you are morons. He statistically had a better season than the number 1 linebacker that you guys had in Fred Wagner. And, of course, Bobby Wagner. Fred Warner. He was the best last year. And somehow he's not in the top 100. Meanwhile, there's other linebackers ahead of him. I don't know. Speaking about defense, we had a span of 3 plays in a row. We had the Roquan pick 6. I'm like, okay, Roquan, do your thing, Roquan. And then the next play, Joe Burrow throws an interception to Jalen Johnson. I'm like, okay, Jalen Johnson, do your thing, rookie. Do your thing. Well, it's his second year, but he's never had a career pick. Last year, Jalen Johnson, all he knew was swat a lot of passes. Sunday, he caught his first one. And he got his first career interception. Shout out to my boy JJ. 2 times. I'm telling you right now, he needs to be the MVP. Best corner in the league. Look at the PFF tweets, man. He has a 96.0 rating so far, which is top among all corners. Just saying. Jalen Johnson, I've been saying it for the last year. He was the best corner on the team last year. He's the best corner on the team this year. He's up there with the Stephon Gilmores. He's up there with the Jair Alexanders. He's up there with the Marshawn Lattimores, with the Xavier Howards. Quote me right now. He is a top 5 corner in this league in the next 3 years. Guarantee it. Jalen Johnson, beast. Absolute beast. I think he's better than what Kyle Fuller was during his Pro Bowl season. That's how great I believe Jalen Johnson is. Love Jalen Johnson. And then we also had Angelo Blackson. They deflected a pass at the line, and this was the 3rd pass in a row that Joe Burrow threw an interception. Last time that happened was Ryan Fitzpatrick. So Angelo Blackson got his first career interception too. So the big boys were feasting there for a minute with Roquan and Angelo Blackson. But the defense won us the game. We had a touchdown pass to Allen Robinson. We had the pick 6, and then we had a field goal. The defense won us the game. The defense came out. They looked like a Bears defense. Granted, it was against a Bengals team without a great O-line. Obviously, they had the playmakers. Jamar Chase did burn us on a play. They had Joe Mixon, they had Joe Burrow, they had T. Higgins, they had Tyler Boyd. They had playmakers. They had playmakers, but for the most part, we contained them. Now the secondary is still very, very concerning. If you ask me, Eddie Jackson did force a fumble, and Eddie Jackson had a couple tackles for loss. Eddie Jackson had a turnaround game, but he also had a coverage down the field where Jamar Chase made him and Tashawn Gibson look stupid. Eddie Jackson, I will say, he made a lot of people change their mind last week. Very poor performance. Everybody's letting him hear it. This week, he had a very solid performance. Yes, he had one mistake, but he had a very solid performance. He looked like the Pro Bowler he was. So, the secondary, it's gonna be very difficult to expect to walk in there against Odell and Jarvis Landry and Baker Mayfield next week if Odell's even playing. It's going to be hard to walk in there against David Njoku. It's going to be hard to walk in there with some of those guys. And especially going to be hard when you get to the Godwins, Evans, Antonio Brown, Gronk, that kind of roster that the Bucs have, or the Seahawks with Lockett and DK, or you get to the Cardinals, they got Christian Kirk, they got AJ. I mean, there's some teams I don't want to play. D-Hop. There's some teams I don't think will be faring well against our secondary. Devontae Adams is in our division. Justin Jefferson is in our division. Adam Thielen is in our division. That's scary. That's scary because you know those guys are going on routes down the field, and it's going to test them. It's going to test them. Hopefully the front five stay fine. Hopefully we get some pressure and get some of those linebackers in there. Khalil, he had his first season stack. Hopefully we get Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn had a little bit of a solid game. Robert Quinn by far had his best game as a Bear last weekend. Granted, it's against the Bengals offensive line. I remind you. We have Bilal Nichols, and I mean we have players in there that I think can give us some contribute to being solid. Duke Shelley, Kendall Vildor, both in there. They played solid. You can tell, though, the secondary is going to be our most questionable spot on the defense. But yeah, I mean, outside of the play to Jamar Chase, for the most part, we stuck up. We did our thing, and we played winning football. The offense will come. Justin Fields struggled. He struggled. He had a couple penalties where him and the center were not on the same cadence. Justin Fields wants the ball, and Justin Fields is getting too excited because he's jumping for it because he's not on the same timing as he is with the center because he's not playing with those guys, so they don't know when he wants it. He's not exactly sure when to expect it, and that creates for false start penalties. Justin Fields, I think, had 2 or 3 of those, which is not something you usually see out of quarterbacks, but that's what you get when you don't play the quarterback that more than likely is going to be taking over for the season with the starting O-lineman. Yes, you gave him some A-Rob snaps, but you weren't running Jason Peters with him. You weren't running Cody Whitehair with him. You weren't running Sam Mustipher with him. You weren't running any of these guys. Why? I don't know. But the Bears, they came out, they did their thing, bear down, we won. Was it the prettiest of wins? No, it wasn't a pretty win at all. But at the end of the day, we picked up a victory. Our defense looked okay against a team that I was not too sure about because T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Tyler Boyd is something that I'm not very fond of going up against. You get on a good old line with Joe Burrow. I'm not really that convinced that they're not a top team. Those are some good playmakers for you. Bears, they stood their ground. Hopefully we stand our ground. The Browns are a much different competitor than the Bengals. Obviously, you got to go out there and you got to compete with, in my opinion, a more dynamic offense that's splitting Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. You're going to go out there. You're going to have to go out there, and I believe Justin Fields is probably going to start because of the Brown bruise to Andy Dalton. They have not ruled Andy Dalton out. He's listed as day-to-day questionable, but I believe Justin Fields more than likely is going to get the start up against Myles Garrett. And if you're a Bears fan, I want to tell you this. Remember what we've done with this kid. This is really his first opportunity to get real time with the starters, with the first strings. He's still getting the rhythm to go. He's not in a situation like Zach Wilson. He's not in a situation like Mac Jones. Zach Wilson maybe wasn't the best example. He's not in the situation where he was getting first-team reps. He's not in the situation where he's coming in and he already is the starter. He's coming in to earn the starting job this season because obviously if you're a football player, you want to play now. You want to be that guy. He's coming in earning a position. So he and some players aren't going to have that chemistry that he has with some of the guys like Jesper Horsted, or whether they're like a J.P. Holtz or maybe Damian Williams. Him and Damian Williams might be fine. They might be fine for all I know. But you might see a little bit of mistiming between him and Allen Robinson. You might see a little bit of mistiming between him and Darnell Mooney. You might see a little bit of snapping and handoff errors there with him and David Montgomery. You might see him maybe get another false start or two. Who knows what's possible? Just realize that what you're watching isn't really a true indication right now of where Justin Fields is. He at this point right now is just starting to get the chemistry built with the players that he needs to build chemistry with. Because up to this point, Nagy has not given the... Yes, he sat here and he said, well, he's a special player, but he's not giving him any real faith in him. He's not putting any real faith in him and backed up his words and gave this kid an opportunity with the starters. He hasn't. And he has to go out there and he has to do his own thing. And it's going to be interesting to see what we do. From what I understand, the playbook will be open fully to Justin Fields this upcoming weekend. We'll go more in depth about what I believe is going to happen this weekend when we do the prediction video. It's going to be up tomorrow. Everything's going to be delayed a little bit. Tomorrow we are going to do the NFL predictions in the morning. We're going to have the AEW review after the show. And then on Thursday, I might be doing a news video. I do have one piece of news with wrestling that I need to cover. And I'm not exactly sure. I thought there was more, but I can't remember what I was going to cover. Friday, just going to be Rampage. Saturday, I'm going to be going to the Arizona-Oregon game, and I'm probably not going to record that, to be honest with you, but I'm going to be there. And then Sunday, obviously, we got Bears football once again. But anyways, like I said at the beginning, I am the role model, Gamers Goon. You guys know where to follow me on Twitter, GamersGoonYT, the Instagram, thegoongameryt, and for right now, that's been it. Definitely make sure you go follow my social medias, make sure you leave a comment and subscribe, and to like this video, because that is very, very important when it comes to coming back to the channel to see what else I gotta say. We do have an Extreme Rules video also up on Sunday next weekend, which means Thursday is not going to be a news video, I don't believe. Thursday might be an Extreme Rules video. I might do two videos, I don't know. But Extreme Rules is this upcoming Sunday. I just remembered that. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.